Hello, wonderful YouTubers. My name is Fortune Angel Mduli, also known as Ungelosi. Intombi emhlophe, ingelosi yokuphila, ingelosi yomhlaba, ingelosi engenayimfiki, intombi yomshazulu. Ngiyabingelela guys, and welcome to yet another exciting segment of Big Beam Music and Entertainment. This week sizobe sikhuluma ngomjolo and umjaivo. Ungizwe kahle, akusiyiphutha lelo. Umjolo and umjaivo. So the question that I have for you guys is it really appropriate for people in serious or committed relationships to have a wild partying lifestyle? Don't miss it guys, cause kuzoba mnandi, kuzoba lit, kuzoba mnandi, kuzoba lit. Hello wonderful YouTubers, my name is Fortune Angel Mdluli and ngiyanamukela to yet another exciting segment of Big Beam Music and Entertainment. Lapho ke sizobe sikhuluma about all things music, all things entertainment and all things more. Iningi lingazi ngongelosi, intombi emhlophe, ingelosi yokuphila, ingelosi yomhlaba, ingelosi engenayimfiki, intombi yomshazulu. Angihambi ngedwa ke namhlanje. I'll be with wonderful people who will be sharing their own opinions about today's topic. Ongazi ukuthi itopic yanamhlanje imayelana ngani, sikhona sizonikhumbuza ningakhathazeki. So before I get started about today's business, I would like to mention ukuthi we have a relationship expert, Ubaba Umuhumi M. Muweti, who is also a life coach and who is a public motivational speaker. Today's topic is about whether or not it's appropriate for people in serious or committed relationships to have a wild partying lifestyle. Ngiyabingelela guys. So before we get started, I would like each and every one of you to, introduce yourselves, usitshela ukuthi udume ngani and usiphatheleni la namhlanje kwa Big Beam Music and Entertainment. Singaqalisa ngapha.
Okay, ladies first.
Yes.
So my name is Thandega, aka TDK Makeup artist. I'm happy to say Guti, I will be the makeup artist of the show. Yeah, it's Thandega. Thank you guys.
Kamalami Upakiso, Wakatodeti. I'm 29 years old. I'm a life coach.
Okay, Igama Uloyiso, I'm 18 years of old. I'm a model, a poet, and also a dancer.
Igama Ntokozo Moranzima. I'm an artist, producer, and I'm also a business guy. I'm a businessman. So yeah. Thanks for having me.
Igama Sbusiso, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Takane. It's nice to be here, guys.
Yeah, my name is Nicholas Lubisi, aka Ghost. I'm a rapper from East End.
All right. So without wasting any more time, I'd like Uput Nicholas to just, outline what his definition of a serious relationship is. So please tell us what your definition of a serious relationship is.
Yeah, look, for me, it's simply not only about time frames, but yeah, about, whether you and the person that you're with, you gel together, you share a lot of things in common. It has to be that, because, you can't be dating somebody who, for instance, regarding this topic, you do certain things, they don't like those things. It just clashes. So for me, it has to be something that takes a specific time frame for you guys to have said, look, this is a track record that we've had. These are the challenges that we've faced and we've conquered. So that would be defined as a serious relationship, because nowadays, as young people, we date, but as soon as we have challenges, everybody just goes their separate ways. So yeah, it's something that would be, you going through tribulations and coming back and saying, look, we faced this challenge, but we're still here today. It should be somebody that that when you wake up every day, you think about that person, that, hey, look,
Yeah.
You think about texting that person and say, hey, but as my heart is content. So for me, that is basically it.
So do you think that clubbing is one of those factors that actually contribute to some of the problems that people experience in relationships?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it kind of depends on the kind of person that you're dating. I mean, if both of us are, doing the whole nightclub life and stuff, and we're partying and everything is fine. I mean, the only thing that is so long, I think it's if Signo Munto Bambo Munto, I mean, that's when we start, you can't be telling people you can't be letting people touch you in certain ways whilst I'm here. But I be problem if you guys have certain things that you agree on that, look, just like me, for instance, I'm a musician. If I go and perform, the person knows that simply after, the performance is done, I come back home, I come back to them. So it doesn't become a problem. Yes, you might have certain people that might like you and say, look, here are my numbers, call me after the show and whatnot. But what is important is, are you able to be true to the person that you're dating? So the nightlife is not really a problem. It is how people handle the nightlife, the specific challenges that come with the nightlife. How do you then rise above those things? Because some people, it just swallows them. You go to the club, you meet people. People are always going to be beautiful. You meet beautiful ladies, they swallow you whole, you lose your partner. But it's not really a problem if you're able to keep that composure that says, look, I have a person, I'm going to stick to this person.
Okay. But Nicholas already mentioned ukuthi time frame is not really an issue when it comes to what makes a relationship serious or not. So, ngicela ukubuza usisithandeka ukuthi yena ke what are some of the elements owabona vele abalulekile ukuthi kumele abe khona ku relationship for it to be considered healthy and successful?
Number one, I'm not really a clubbing or a clubbing specifically a person who goes out and drink. And in my experience, neither is the person I am dating, so which makes our relationship a stable relationship. However, I think if we were going out a lot, it would have played a negative influence on our relationship. So on my side on this topic, I generally think that going out can eventually destroy a relationship, because none of the people I know in my environment who are going out have serious relationship. Like, both of these things are time consuming, so you can't juggle both at the same time. Going out has its own pressure, and it's a different lifestyle than being in an actual relationship, because when you are in a relationship, a committed relationship, there are certain priorities that you need to make. So you can't go out at the same time and come back and say, I'm gonna be in a relationship. Either way, as Ghost mentioned, that it depends if are you going out because of it's gonna be fun or you are working. At some point, for an example, if I was in a relationship with him, he goes out for work, but at some point the time is going to be a problem, because I am used to being with someone even when it's at night. Like, if I'm saying, okay, I'm trying to say that if we're staying together, I will not be able to handle the fact that he's forever out. The mind itself has something. There's that demon in the mind that will always give you ideas, even when he can be faithful. But in my mind, it won't come to that, because when you go out, specifically, women go out. I think we had this conversation when we were doing makeup, that women go out to meet men. Some of women, and some go out to have fun. But mainly, a man specifically never goes out to partying thinking that they're going to meet their future person. It's always going out and having fun. So how can you have a serious relationship at the same time you are going out? Where is your responsibility there? Where do you stand? You need to know.
So based on your personal experience, when you are strongly against, people in committed relationships going to clubs and partying?
I would say yes, I am. But either way, I think the guys are going to agree with me if I say it's not also even healthy for a relationship not to actually have fun activities. When you mention going out, there are a lot of ways you can go out with your partner. But specifically when it comes to alcohol and that environment for me is a no.
Oh, okay. All right. Mele sithole umuntu ozosinika like a slightly different opinion, because ngifila ngathi both the opinions that we are getting right now are heading towards, you know, the same notion or direction. But anyway, what are some of the things that should happen in your relationship specifically or personally for you to say that, you know what, this is the type of relationship that I want to be in. This is the type of, you know, life that I want to share with a person. Is there somebody who'd like to just outline some of those things based on their own personal experience?
Firstly, I'd like to say, in love, there's supposed to be loyalty, because without loyalty, there's no love. You can't say you love a person and yet you can't be loyal to that person. Loyalty is important in everything you do. And communication, when you're in love with someone, you have to communicate with that person. When you face problems, you have to sit down with that person as adults and focus on those things, face those problems. Communication and loyalty are the key roles in love. Without those two, your love won't go anywhere.
I'd like to comment on what my brother's saying. I do also believe that in every form of relationship, whether it's a mother-child, you know, a brother, sister, you know, lover, to lover relationship, I believe the substance to everything that holds and binds a relationship is actually communication and being faithful, being you, being truthful to yourself. So one thing about relationships nowadays, they are full of hypocrisy, if I can just put it simple. People are hiding under the mantle of love to cover whatever deeds that they want to cover. So in short, if we are in a relationship and I say I trust you, it should be vice versa. And how that trust is built is through our correspondence, meaning whatever you do, you put yourself and me and God first. So nowadays we never put God first, we put ourselves and we go with the flow. Yes, we just go about life. So in relationships, it's all about, you know, being truthful. That's what I can, you know, contribute with my 10 cents of contribution.
And also, like, you would see, understand with like the relationship me too. And no two is different in one way. But we understand that.
So learning also partner, you know, because I'm sure with this you go with the mentality to as a drawer, you know, we're just doing things, you know, we're in a relationship, but we never go through and search deep for okay, who's this guy, who's this girl, you know. And the indoctrination, the psychology, Gumbu youth in general, that's why you find us being in touch a lot. Because we want to go out so bad. You know, you're having fun. And forgetting that I'm having fun, yes, but at the expense of my sister at home.
From the point they basically clubs and all. Point it's different. Kona ozithanda ubumnandi, kona ongekathanda ubumnandi. So uyela lapho.
And then what
Yes, ngiyabonga lethuba leli. So ku-serious relationship into ebaluleke kakhulu i-choice, because wonke umuntu une-choice. So one-choice usuke ubheke le nto leyo ubone ngamehlo yakho, ngamehlo wakho ngoba uyayithanda. So njengoba uyithanda, for example, ubona umuntu wesifazane, njengoba umbona kanje bese uyamthanda lo muntu wesifazane. But ke kukhona into esiyenzayo, i-mistake enkulu ebakhona. So kuyenzakala ukuthi la sibuya khona emakhaya ethu, azange sanikezwa khona uthando, azange sathola uthando, bese ngihethekile then ngolunye umuntu uthi ngizomthanda, so ngizomthanda kanjani umuntu ngihethekile. So into ebalulekile ngiyela kuphuzela kama-brother lapha namakathi into ebalulekile ukuthi masigela ku-relationship kubalulekile sibeke uNkulunkulu phambili. simcela uNkulunkulu. Number 1, number 2, kube into yokuthi uNkulunkulu akhile umuntu ohilekile uzokwazi ukuqhubeka uthande umuntu, because inye into khona abantu athi uthanda umuntu but yena ukuhluleka usithanda yena kuqala. Uzomthanda kanjani umuntu ukuthi wena ufeyile ukusithanda wena kuqala? Number 2, ukhona lokuzicolela, because ku relationship futhi yenza kanti ukuthi umunye akakwazi ukucolela omunye nomunye akakwazi ukucolela omunye. Leyo relationship le ayiphambi. Isizathu ukuthi ama relationship awacelanga manje. Relationship ayaphuka along the way. Ayikho relationship labe stable ehlala 10 years or 20 years.
Okay. The important thing Bigadeni mentioned is a trust, ne? And since sikuluma about, relationships specifically being affected by, partying and clubbing, how does trust play a role in such a situation?
It plays a huge role. I mean, you look at the fact that once you leave the person that you're dating at home and you go out where there's other people that are intoxicated, not fully in control of their emotions and all of these things, and now in that space, just like Tina, artists, like we are posed to take off the edge, going to connect a better in the crowd, right? So more figure like you meet a lot of people. There are going to be people that like you and stuff. And Umundwako is fully aware of those things which we are zenza. You drink, you speak to those people. So trust. I'm not a relationship on my former in this world. Ingana foundation built on the trust. Ngiyazibona lezi zinto singaba loyal as much as possible, but if umuntu wami akangithembi ukuthi mangiphumile ngiloyal angeke kuze kulunge lutho. So I-trust former yonke into kahle kahle siyenza. Kumele mangiphuma azi ukuthi even if bangathi bayamshela, is going to say, look, I have a person that I'm dating, that I'm in love with. So as such, I cannot do this thing with you. Njengoba asho athi there's this demon that is created at the back of your mind, because it could be ukuthi she trusts the person to a certain degree, but kunalezi zinto lezo kuthini ngoba uyazi experience esemtshelile yokuthi most yabantu abaziyo in a circle abajivayo akunamuntu osesene relationship ozothi I'm fully proud of or is stable enough for me to say yazi noma ngahamba, I know mangimfonela he's going to pick up the phone, I know he's going to come back to me and say look sengibuyile endlini. So I-trust vele i-foundation yayo yonke into singakwenza konke, but ultimately kumele sitshenge ukuthi yazi umuntu wami uthanda mina and mina alone. So yeah,
the point the look to amaqeda ukukhuluma manje, as even that I-trust mina ngikile ngibone ngathi like abantu khona bangablend trust because of like i-past, like into ababuya kuzo. So kuba hard ukuthi trust futhi lo muntu lo, sometimes amanye amagama umuntu amtshela wona like ubona same lo bengibuya kuyo washo the same thing lo usho manje. So lana okay ungeni lo relationship but like not fully in ngobani iba kanjani trust at the same time khula lo muntu lo back then bajola nayo. So nana because
to add on your point okay, another thing that ends up with a trust maybe being in a relationship, it's insecurities. Like if you can let your insecurities control you, you won't be able to trust your partner, because in your mind you'll always be thinking of negative things instead of thinking of positive things about your partner.
Now, excuse me, just to add to now, ama insecurities as available people, when you know that the place, my brother or my sister, ayabuyu, is not of a good, of a good benefit to anybody per se. So if I can just linga, ubumnandi, the word ubumnandi is having fun, right?
Yeah.
It's us going out having fun. Now being out having fun, sharp, it's good, ne? And abanye bangathi it's good, abanye bangathi it's bad, because we all have different opinions about it.
Yeah.
But say, I won't name a place, but most in that way, the things that usually happen, usually in that way, there's a lot of things, negative things. Let's not beat around the bush. There's a lot of negativity going on, So Mina, my argument or my my reason for cautioning my brother over here is my insecurities come about when you know okay untanga uyelapha and yelapha kwenzakala 1, 2 and 3. So I think the mentality of you being in a serious relationship and the mentality of you being free as an individual needs to be clarified, because when you're in a relationship there needs to be principles, there needs to be guidelines that you follow. I can't be in a relationship with my sister or it needs to go somewhere. So initially magaphumile uyomitha abanye mangiphumile nami ngizobabona abusisi nabo zibani. So it comes back to guys dating ukuthi ngithande nento ayishilo ibhuti about love. Uthando is a very powerful substance and asifundiswa lento emakhaya because it needs to start at home. If iqala ekhaya, I know ngifundiswe kahle, I need to respect umama ngimphathe kahle ngimthande and know my place as a man, because I can't be a man ngingazazi ukuthi, you know. So just to add my points, I think you need to be strict on yourself. If you find relationship, you have a relationship. If you find ukudlala, go have fun.
Can I raise a point on that? It's something we also spoke about when we were busy outside. Uguti, when you enter a relationship, like you're saying right now, Uguti, you also have expectations with your partner. It goes back to your question here, trust. You have expectations. If you have expectations in a relationship, can that relationship meet your expectations? Which means, can it meet your trust? If I am in a relationship and I'm going out, or we are going out as partners, are we meeting a certain what do I want to say? Is a certain agreement that we have with each other when it comes in terms of each trust? Because each trust can easily be broken. When you are in a relationship, each trust can easily be broken, especially in a place whereby there's alcohol. Because alcohol is a big influence. I even said to you, Angie, that alcohol builds a certain character to someone for that night or that specific short time. It creates that a different character, a character that they will not even recognize tomorrow. So when it comes to saying, can we trust each other in that relationship? Can relationships that have they end up, some of them, I'm not trying to be negative, but they end up being toxic relationships. Because people date and then they get to a point whereby we date and then we break the trust because of and you know, once trust is broken, then there's no relationship. So
and I mean,
and already you must remember, all my sisters always sober, or sober in her spiritual or whatever mindset. So my expectations, I really respect that point.
And I mean, I think we need to first see so you can't say ukuthi you don't want umuntu ongaphuzi, but then mawushela umuntu ophuzayo bese uyamqoma ake-explainele ukuthi no, but this is what I do, because ultimately the understanding needs to come. Like, I fully agree with this in Show, but I think sometimes we tend to make the mistake of team because we like what we see on the outside, right?
Outside.
Yeah, we like what we see on the outside because and I'm promising you a lot of things, but unale A1 no, I'm going to compromise on that one because I mean all of the other aspects about this guy are good. But then ukhohle ukuthi kuzofika ilanga la engizohamba khona. Then uzogula bese ngihambile.
But then it goes back to expectations.
That's why because understand, and I fully agree with you. As understand and define what you want first and then go for what you want. Don't start saying compromise into engingayithandi bese mawubuya uzofuna ukubuya uzo-attack mina personally uthi no, but you're drunk. But ngakutshela mangikushela ofana uthi udlula estradini, it's a Saturday, uzibuyela lapho uyowenza izinto zakho ze-makeup, you had a lot of people that you were working with, right? Ngikubone, I'm like, yo, I like you and everything, can I have your tens and stuff? unginikeze wona kokucala uyangibona ngiphethe ican lami lapha
Yeah.
clearly you can see ukuthi
What
yes,
does that
Fine,
really
right.
say
Okay.
about
and
you?
nalento yokuthini, you've already defined what you expect out of a good guy. I'm clearly not that. So why then do you then now say we are Tanda, then after we shy 360-degree turn, and then come back and say, but indaba yakho yokuphuza ngiyithandi mina, because once ukhumbula ukuthi once ungidefinele ukuthi kumele ngidlale yiphi role ngale ndlela ofuna ngayo, angisayenzi nami ngokujabula and ekugcineni asisalingani, sekune-imbalance manje ngithi ngoba
To Mamela, goes next. Make no mistake about women. As we grow, I think all women will tell you, we know what we want. When we get to a relationship, we already know what we want. If you, I'm gonna meet a person I know what I want. They understand.
So-
if I say that when I talk about the characters, why would I go for a person in Joanna because already I'm thinking what he's doing, that means Mangula is gonna be doing it to someone else. So I already know what you're gonna say or what you're on about there. So I can never put you to a trap. I can never agree to date you now. While and then my sister says it too, when we are in a relationship and then I say to you, but you should stop drinking. If I want someone who's drinking, I will give you my numbers. But if I don't want someone who's drinking, then I won't give you my numbers. Hence, I say to you, it goes back to expectations. It's not even a line sober. You understand? But once we sit down, it's a good relationship, or and you we meet each other, you'll ask me, what is it that you expect from me? And then I will tell you, I don't like this. I'm trying to, or like I'll tell you what I want, and you'll also tell me what you want. Hence, that's why when you get to a relationship, that's why we end up being relationships are toxic. It's because some of the things we ignore along the way. When you meet a person, you know what they're all about.
Okay.
Eventually, you land and you know what they're all about.
Can I quickly, just, ask something in brief? Nowadays, I think the mentality, Guma relationship, there's a certain underlying, mentality happening. Even Naguma, I find this a lot, even Guma girls, look she per se. Tiwe ayintanga ungamjoli ngoba kanamali.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain teachings that we've adapted to as a nation, as people. There's certain teachings, and if we could unlearn certain things, I think because most of the time, we're even scared of going to go approach UCs because you're scared of rejection, you're scared of this and that, and judgmentality.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it breaks you in the inner you, in the core of you. It breaks you. How can I get umfaz per se, usis? How can I get usis all right? Because in general, everybody goes with whatever everybody's saying. So if untanga ati akufuneki uchero gqoka kanjena, I'm sorry, I'll go with whatever untanga or my peers are going with. So we learn to guys in Kalanga, like mentally.
So you just mentioned something about society, ne? And how it plays a role, more especially with regards to how everybody in that society perceives a certain thing, ne? So the question that I have for you is like, why, or rather how is it different that a man is seen differently when he goes out and he parties and he does rather all these things that are done when you're in a club, but it's different when a woman does it? Why is it like that? Do you think that the society has a certain role in that?
It also comes back to society because dala abo baba bethu nabomkhulu bebaphila ngendlela different according to that era and according to imfundiso ebebefundiswe ngayo, yabo. So nowadays, Karin, okay, tina we are a free generation. We explore, we do this and that and that and that. But coming to Lento Sisai Short, I think There's a lot, my sister, man. There's a lot, you know, and there's a lot that's affecting, you know, individuals and people in general.
Because I received a comment stating that women in clubs or women who enjoy clubbing usually don't get married or they are not married as compared to their counterparts. So what's like?
Tina vela madoda ngisho we used to carrying there's this thing called if you're a man. Like indoda izazibona, you know, even abafana, you know, abanakwa as much as the girl, the baby girl, you know. So I think from Gwandu, like Endu, I mean to say, men have always been men. They've always, you know, had that man role to play. And now into Elona, my sister, is the fact that if me now I want a lady. That's another term. It's you know, it's another term. But mangfuna umfazi per se ngesu. Mangfuna umfazi. I don't expect ukuthi umfazi wami ne uzohamba abo and then the next thing ngibona nabo or yabo. So I guess it comes back to lento leyani yemfundiso. If uzifundise kabi or you've adapted izinto ezimbi elifini, you're always going to carry on that life cycle and yothelelela nababanye.
Yeah, nami into engibona ebaluleke kakhulu ukuthi ku relationship kulento ebaluleke kakhulu ngoba i-relationship is between abantu abayi-two. So these two people, they are sharing one common thing, which is love. So uthando alufuna kwalo, uthando lusikhuthukumezi. So kulabantu abayi-two ku relationship kufanele umuntu azifuna azazi ukuthi ufunani relationship nalo omunye bese indaba ye-honest ihamba ngokuthi ayibhekwa kumuntu wesilisa kuphela nokumuntu wesifazane. Abanye abantu badibana emaklabini, abanye badibana esontweni, abanye badibana entradini elolini. End of the day choice yomuntu ukuthi uyamthanda lo muntu kanjani bese bayangena ku-relationship, bayaqhubeka ku-relationship. Ke thina abantu abasha bawutabheka into eshaya kakhulu vele yindaba ye-honest lelolini. Nabangani ke bane-influence engase-right. Sithola abangani athi it's not good ukuthi ube nentombi eyodwa. So kuba kuhle ukuthi ube nentombi eziningi. Kuyabonakala ukuthi lapho yinsizwa. Kodwa mina ke ku-experience yami ngifuna ukusho ukuthi for mina it's not good ukuthi ngibe ku-relationship nabantu abayi-3 because uthando anginalo labantu abayi-3. Ngothando lomuntu oyedwa okufanele ngibonise because ngikhuluma nginale ngondo lokuthi umuntu ngimthanda sizokhula together, yet khona ama mistake. I'm not perfect, naye akho perfect, so siyobambisana kube right. Mawuthi abheka South Africa yonkana la noma sifunde emaphepheni uthola ukuthi umuntu sibayala in a way ukuthi bafuna nokubulalana ngoba lo omunye azakathembeki komunye lo. So ngicabanga ukuthi enye into engaba umthelo umuntu kubantu abasha ukuthi awuzifune usithole ukuthi ufuna ukuba ukuthola umuntu onjani.
So let's go back to the topic, guys, because Mrs. Kuluma, you know, a lot about the matters of the heart, you know, and what should be done and what shouldn't be done. So let's just, you know, drive it back a bit and Sazuguti, okay, fine, does clubbing have an impact on finances in a relationship? Who would like to answer that question for us?
Okay, it does. I'm all against the clubbing thing. It does.
Yeah.
In a household, there's a man, there's a woman, and there are budgets. When a budget, you see, every month we enter 1, 2, 3, and then if we wanna go out and drink, it's a minus to some of the things we're gonna do. Remember again, when you are intoxicated, you can't control how you spend your budget. You cannot. So it ends up causing fights ending because of manje. Either way, whether I go out, we drink together. If we plan to do something and then Masses finish and we forget about that whole thing, then we spend. Masses be as open as too, because one is expecting the other one to sort out that matter. How are we gonna sort it out? Because already over budget and we spent money that was not supposed to be spent. So finance plays finance and party, it's also a negative to say a person who drinks, they forever think about space social, whatever they do, they think about drinking. So when you are in a relationship and you're also going out, eventually because of a clash when time goes on, and it becomes a problem to a point whereby some of the couples will go out until stop it. So it's a continuous thing. Like every weekend, there's utwana and going out, and there's also money involved. So eventually, along the way, it's gonna cause the relationship to struggle, and it might even cause, if you are married, it's gonna cause a divorce, or it's gonna end up going back to abandonment to the So
okay.
it has.
Okay, this is on the clubbing and finances. It is all about self-control. Before you do anything, you take out all the home responsibilities before you can decide to go clubbing. You set out your budget. You set out a certain money that this money I will use for clubbing, and this money I will use for the necessities of the house, for the things that I need for me to live. And then I'll put aside the money for luxuries, such things as clubbing sort of things.
So let's say you are a person that, goes out with your partner, like going out in show in a mena yoguti, you go out partying with your partner. What do you do when, umuntu uyeza uzokhwathazisa la ufuna ukukhuluma nomuntu wakho kanti na uhleli lapho? So how would you respond to such a situation?
My sister, like, leader go to be uye kulento le violence yetho nangikhuluma iqiniso leader la style kumnandi wena sobamba umuntu wami ezi out nangapha la kulendawo kuyo like kuba isithunzi sakho na sayehla phela bakubona ungena nayo umuntu wakho lo jika awuthi sizombamba bamphambi kwakho ngikhona uthulile angangidonsa wena kanti donse ngisandla no but bese iya lapho uthi azi hey lo umuntu wami yetho sicala lapho siya ku violence futhi violence akusinde right yeah that's one that also mina vele ngithi like angithanda vele ukuphuma yetho
awuthandi ukuphuma or awuthandi ukuphuma nomuntu wakho?
I think, going out nomuntu wakho, inzima lena,
It's a
because
huge risk.
yeah, it's a huge risk.
Okay, I'd like you guys to elaborate on that more.
Okay. For an example, my sister, I said ngiyashela ngiyaqala ukubona, I wanna put you on board. I want you to plug me on. And then ngiyakulanda estradini, ngiyakubona intombazane decent, khuliswe kahle, ufundiswe kahle ekhaya. And then I'm gonna approach you, and then saqala sazana kumnandi kuma WhatsApp isahleka whatever the case may be. But mase ngithatha ngithi siswami, and when let's say awutrayelanga that lifestyle, awutrayele leyo mpilo leyo, ngiyathatha siswami cela mani yabona masike sojika lapha namajita aboshaya, you can bring a friend, whatever the case may be. But must introduce her to that lifestyle. That's when you lose yourself. And now I'm going to lose myself, or I've lost myself already because of the hype that takes on the
Yeah. So let's say you approaching somebody vele upila the same lifestyle or upila, how is it different?
If ngiyaphuza and
naye like njengoba usho ukuthi siyadibana siya exchange ini, what if I do go to clubs, I do the same things as you, so how does that change your statement?
if you do, and I wasn't the root, the one who introduced you to that lifestyle, it's okay, usfundela, I wasn't there. But if I'm going to come and put my little form of influence for hey man baby, hey man, so and then ngiyakufaka into that world, then I believe Tsemoshi, because mina initially maybe I could have got a wife from you. What
so
if
in the
somewhere
okay,
other than
this is getting heated.
That's where I am, Kori. If maybe I should have sent you maybe to
so ngamanye amagama into
ishoyo, say park, say do whatever, or go out other than going to to clubs and drinking.
So ngamanye amagama, yes, I do understand your opinion. Ngamanye amagama ne uthi wena you wouldn't marry a person that's exactly like you or that does the same things as you. Is that what you're saying? Because since we with this conversation, ikale with this point yoguti, I wouldn't take my woman to a club.
Yeah.
So what if your woman is the same type cup of tea as you? So why wouldn't you take her to a club if no it's near fun?
Men are protective. If you're a man, you want to protect your territory, so that you know that you as you are a man, you know, and you're protecting this family or you know this lady, you know, these kids. So once I start, you know, being with you there, and things happen, and for whatever reason I see you or you back at me or you know, that's where
so that's the problem.
That's where the problem is. Because I'm not gonna feel comfortable you chatting with that guy over there in the corner. Why are you chatting there in the corner? And or why am I, you know, maybe, you know, hugging too much, you know, hugging with this girl? You're also gonna have a problem. So that's why I get it. There's so much influence in places of having fun. Unless you are Miss Jelly, you got a contract. Me and you've got a contract that, baby, me and you, we go out there and, you know, we have fun. But when we come here, whatever that we did there, we leave it there. Whatever that we have here, you know, we pick up. Unless we have some form of agreement, that's like that.
Nicholas?
Look, personally, I think it goes back to what Oputi said here. Look, love is really about choice. You know, you choose what you want to be, right? So it really doesn't matter ukuthi useklabini or uphi. Umshela bazomshela. That's the common thing ezoyenzeka. So angaphuma la estradini bamshele. However, the choice that she makes when she's in that space to say, look, yabona lapha. That's him. Please don't touch me. Yeah. That is basically what needs to happen. I agree with you to a degree that, you know, there needs to be a particular contract that is set to say, look, my love, now we're going out. There's specific boundaries. You don't like people touching me, as well as I also don't like people touching you. So whenever people touch you, if you truly love me enough, you're going to tell those people to, you know, move away. But yeah, abantu ba confuse le nto yokuthi umuntu azitshela ukuthi it's the guy on a problem lo touchayo. Look, the scene iyamvumela, ubona umuntu uyazijayivela la. He doesn't know ukuthi ukhona wena. The scene iyamvumelayo. He sees something that he likes, like you said. You know, he goes after what he likes, but what he likes needs to then in turn tell him, ukuthi look, I'm already spoken for.
Yeah, so being straightforward.
Yeah, you know, you're somebody else's person. So it's actually pump the brakes there, because umuntu wami wouldn't like that. Yeah, but it's the same as lento yokuthini. Njengoba sibuyele lapha kusisi ukuthi she said ukuthi akunasikhathi esiallocatwayo whenever umuntu ajayiva. But I'm telling you, if a person truly loves you enough, they'll make time for you. We make time for what we prioritize. If into anginandaba nayo, I will never make time. Ngiyakutshela ukuthi even if ungathi kimi stop drinking, if you're truly important enough, ngizoyiyeka lento leyo. Yebo, it's not really about the fact ukuthi manje utshwala bumnandi kangaka. No, there's guys like abakhwithayo in life. Kunabantu besibazi besihlala nabo nathi who are married now. Mawumfonela uthi I have a show. He tells you within that you know, my wife usendlini. Ngeke ngiphume mina ngishiya umuntu wami endlini. Bese ngiyoya emashowini nje yabona. So it's really about a priority. If into uyayithanda enough as a prioritizer, but indaba yokuthi bazombamba melulwe ayisebenzi, because egcineni bazombamba ungekho abanika amanamba uyolwa nobani wethatha. Mabangakuthandi ngale ndlela leyo to stop a person from ukumshela izoyenzeka. So ultimately for me, alcohol is not really the issue. It is how people carry themselves whenever they're intoxicated or within the space of partying. You know, I fully agree with all the points that are being brought into the table. However, we need to understand that there's a lot of people that don't go clubbing, but their partners are not happy with them. You know, they're not happy with them. You know, I mean, you go every day uhlezi usendlini. Mangibuya ngiyakuthola uphekile, uklinile. But ultimately, kunevoid engakhona ukufila enhlizweni yami. Bona, so it's not really about the fact ukuthi kumele siyojayiva ukuthi kube mnandi, kumele yabo uhlale endlini ukuthi kube mnandi. Angakushiya uhlele endlini ubhisi uthi hayi yazi mina ngihlize endlini ngimangibuye emsebenzini uyazi ngiyakutshela ukuthi unganginika ne-track. Ngitrack every day. But sengisitshelile ukuthi yazi into engizoyenza le. Ifoni ngizoyishiya endlini ngishiye phansi kwephilo. Uyi-track uhlale uyi-track and amabuya. Because ngizwa lento engizwayo, there's nothing ozongitshela yona. Ngifuna ukuyolala mina lapho. Uzokwata uzube right because for mina i-priority yami lies with lo mjayivo loyo lapha yabona. Siyatshelwa ukuthi no, you need to limit manje so ushaya kakhulu. Then you pump the brakes because uthi uyabheka umuntu wakho makakhuluma nawe ngalento, you can see in their eyes that they're not truly happy about what they're saying to you. Then uyayimisa because loyo muntu loyo ubalulekile enough. And I'm not saying everybody does that. It's just it's just an opinion. Whatever you prioritize in life, uzoyinikeza isikhathi sakho sonke. Ngiyabona if it's career, kunabantu bokuthi uzokutshela I don't want kids, ngizifunela mina success kuphela. And angeke aza prioritize i-partner yakhe because i-partner yakhe iza nale element lokuthi there's always going to be kids in the mix. So loyo muntu lo uzokutshela I don't want kids. Therefore, I don't want a serious relationship because a serious relationship mustn't clearly now. I start thinking about legacy.
Yes,
I start thinking about kids. So prioritize that into in life. It's not really about alcohol is bad, alcohol is good. I'm just throwing it.
Partying is bad, partying is good.
It's deep what you're talking about, my brother. It's really deep.
Because honestly speaking, I feel like people have a tendency of, blaming certain things without looking inwards about what could be the possible problems in their relationships. Because one thing that I've noticed is that people go into a relationship bangazazi ukuthi bona babo bani bafunani, and then they try to go with the relationship, and as soon as it reaches a certain level umuntu sekayaqala ufuna ukufaka certain elements about what they've discovered about themselves along the way, and then they in a way want to make their partner change the way that they have been because of the certain realizations that they've had about themselves. So there's just a lot that goes on in this whole thing, and I'd like to note that the opinions are each and every person in the studio. There is no wrong or right about everything that we were talking about. And yes, thank you guys so much for coming. And and we are signing out.
Greetings to all the viewers of the Big B Entertainment. Who's speaking here is Moses Muhumi Moeti, all the way from the east. You know, they say wise men come from the east, from Springs in Ekurhuleni. So what I'm doing is I've been doing what you call prolific motivation speaking, and as well as I'm a man of God, I'm a pastor. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm a worshiper, I'm a person that has business interest. But today, I want to speak as a life coach and speaking as a relationship expert. You know, every person has his own expertise. So I want to talk about what they were talking about, like what does it entails to have a good, fruitful, and available relationship, the ecstasy of love, because life is all about choices. So I want to talk about embracing the lifestyle of the today's lifestyle. I mean, we read the word of God. The Bible says the sons of Issachar, they understood the times. So in this dispensation of this generation, the young people of today, even old people, days and times and seasons are changed. So you cannot run a relationship like the old style. I mean, there are new things, there are new avenues, interests, there are new things that people, they make choices, decision making. I normally say this: when you want to enjoy life, never ever deprive yourself of what you deserve. Everybody, even a child, is born to be in a relationship. Now, whether you are a woman, you are a man, you are a husband, you are a wife, you are a pastor, you are a father, whatever you are in life, Life will call you to relationship. That's why others, they enjoy having relationship with their dogs. So relationship is something that you must enjoy as a daily routine. You know, you find people today, they are hooked into their relationship is about attachment. You know, you find a person is hooked into his laptop, WhatsApp, phone, everything. Communication in many relationships is broken down because of the digital, because of the technology age of today. But let me say this. People, they enjoy clapping, they enjoy fun. You know, it's good to have fun. I mean, you must enjoy yourself, live your life to the fullest. Don't you ever rob yourself. You know, life, we've got 7 spheres. I talk about 7 major spheres of life spectrum. In the spectrum of life, you must enjoy it. Relationship is about interaction. It's about conversation. It's about expression. It's about telling yourself who you are. In relation, there are feelings, there are interests, there are dislikes and likes. I mean, people, they've got diversity. As a human being, I normally say this: you are unique and irreplaceable. Now, in relationship, one of the master wisdom, master key in relationship is acceptance. When you meet the person, it's either whether you appreciate that person like your own child. You must accept your child, have a relationship, talk, speak, think, feel, touch. I mean, you are a human being. You are not a dead somebody. The dead, they don't know anything about life and relationship because they don't hear anything. But we are living, we are lively. I mean, life is all about making a relationship every day. Sometimes in relationship, there's what we call value system. It goes to a point, how much do you value yourself? I mean, before there's a magazine which I love, which I used to read. I read magazines most of the time. It's called True Love. And the True Love says all that a woman needs is love. I said, no, it's not that. Before you can get true love, hey, let me tell you something. You must become first true you. Become true to yourself. Many people, especially in our continent of Africa or South Africa, they are suffering what I call an identity crisis. So in identity, you need to know how to identify yourself with somebody else that you come across with. Okay, so that's self-image. You must put your value. Jesus Christ said, you are of more value than many sparrows. So in relationship, that is fruitful, that is ecstatic, that is growing, that is life fulfilling, that is what we call identity. So you need to know when you go into a relationship with somebody else, can you identify with that person? Because sometimes you choose that person. I normally say this: never ever complain about anything that you permit. It's a principle of life. I mean, if you complain about anything that you permit, I mean, if they take your person that you love, or if somebody abuse yourself and everybody, it starts with you. It's identity. Another thing is, as you can hear, they're talking all that, what is most critical and of the critical role is security. A relationship is about security. That means there are 3 T's. You know, we've got this ODTT, but I put the triple T's. You know, it's trials, it's test, it's trust. So your love in relationship must be able to go through trials, and you must stand the good test of time. You must have time with the person that you love, with your family, with your child, with your spouse, with your people you value. I mean, you value your relationship. Now, security is a hard matters. You know, it takes 2 to tango. Relationship starts by 2 people. They meet there in tavern, they meet there in church, they meet there in the company, they meet there in the business, they meet there in the political organization, they meet everywhere. You go, we normally say, traveling brothers' minds. You can travel. If you stay in South Africa, you are hooked. You don't only see South Africa. Hey, travel the world. You will enjoy the other spectrum of relationships. You will see that, hey, I can be secure somewhere. And in security, it goes with value. You know, in relationship, I normally tell people when I joke, I say, don't allow anybody to treat you like shit. No, you are of value. You are an asset. You are a value. You are not a non-entity. You are not worthless. I mean, you give that person your heart. If you go into trust It goes with the heart to heart. My Bible says, how can two walk together except there's agreement? So agreement goes to a part of covenant love, or relationship goes to the aspect of what you call communication. So you communicate, you speak, you express, you know what you want. Another thing in relationship, which is very much important to know, is about purpose. I remember one of my motivational speaker, which I used to say, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. In our country, the young people today, even the old people, they abuse themselves. Substance abuse. Come on now. If you don't know the purpose, of what you are doing, then you are causing abuse. If you don't know the purpose of the person that you have, you'll abuse that person. You'll abuse your child. You abuse your husband, your wife, or your partner. If you don't know the purpose, that means you abuse. That's why there's this what they call, in relationship, you must burn the bridges. Many people, why today they don't enjoy fullness of relationship, is because there's what I call personal soul ties. You are here with this person, but some other times you are here physically, but the mindset, the feelings, the emotions, you are not with that person. There's a cut off, there's a distortion, there's hostility, there's anger, there's strife. Strife kills relationships. Where there's strife, there's stress, there's anger, there's depression. All those things, they cause the relationship to go down. But I've got something very interesting, that after you made the choice, there's this thing what we call a relationship. In the real sense of it, it demands money. People, they fear to talk about money in relationship, even in marriage, because if you want to buy bread, you cannot get bread freely. You must buy. If you love somebody, you must be volitional. You must choose the highest best. You must buy something good. You must give love. You must give life. Because finances, it goes with personal planning, personal viewing. That when you go into a relationship, there's what they call the attention of a destiny, partnership. Can you go an extra mile with this person, with your life, in your finances, in your personal interest? Like, for instance, you take a person out on the dating, or in the restaurant, or you go with her or him in the hotel. Someone somehow must pay the price. Relationship demands paying. If you're not prepared to pay the cost, don't be in a relationship. Because relationship goes with responsibility. Relationship goes with appreciation. It goes with the impact of that moment. You must enjoy. Before you can enjoy, sometimes you pay the cost. To fly, to go to Taiwan, to go to Italy, to go to America. I mean, the person you go with, there must be a trust with. There must be a relationship of finance. So what I'm saying here is, I want to wrap up what I'm going to bring forth, which is very much critical. It's like for saying, what is a relationship? Now, a relationship, it's where you interact. It's like you are sharing how you feel. I mean, a human being has got 5 senses. How you think, how you taste. When there's what you call ecstasy of intimacy. In relationship, hey, intimacy is nice. That's why you must get married. But before you can get married, develop your own personal self-image. Develop your own character, your own future, your dreams, your destiny, your goals. Understand what you want. One woman said, women, they know what they want. But I don't know about men, but I know men, they know what they want. Because a woman, actually, you need to know that there are 2 things in relationship. A woman, she's created by God. Her body is feminine, and her body receives. And we are men. I'm giving. Oh my God, I'm God, my powerful good day. I give her, she receives. And when I give, I provide. But now as she receives, she must respect what she receives. But now I must protect her. There must be protection. And in relationship, there's what you call she respond. Every woman in the whole world, you can wear. Statistics, they say men are 2.7, but women, they are 2.7 billion. Women, there are 5 billion women in the whole world. So men are very less. So women are desperate. They are desperate because they want someone to provide for them. So you men, why do you abuse them? They are flowers. Treat them with care, love them, appreciate them. They are God's creation. I mean, it was not good for Adam to be alone. And God said, this guy is bored. This boy, this man, he's lonely. He's speaking to baboons, speaking to lions, doing everything. Hey, he was bored. He was lonely. But God said, I'll make a suitable helpmate. So that is what I say, in you, there is the person that qualifies to be you. And you can enjoy. If you go to partying, if you go to church, if you go to business, hey, it takes two to tango. Enjoy that. You know, I remember I was riding a Suzuki, a scooter. Now I had somebody at my back. Now, when you are riding a bike, listen, you must flow together. There must be that affluence. There must be that simultaneous connection. My partner and I, we talk about the secret space. You must enjoy your space. When I turn to the left or to the right, she must turn to the right. When I turn to the left, she must. So if she takes another diverse, it's a distortion. Then we all both dead. So now, that's why I say in relationship, there's what we call that exclusiveness, that element of saying, in business we've got what we call the conflict of interest. Are you in the same interest? Are you really enjoying the same interest? Do you've got the same views, the thinking? Oh my goodness. I believe in my book that says that transform your thinking for prestige, prosperity, life. In relationship, it's about your life. Where are you getting to? Where are you going to do? So I want to tell you something, people, that there is so much in this topic, and I believe that we can get more and achieve whatever we're going to do. And I believe God said in his word, God said in his word, when the perfect comes, the partial disappears. Many people in clubs or in other things, they are living their life in fluctuation. That means their relationship is not genuine. It's not going to stand to marriage and family and future. So don't waste your time. Yesterday it's a memory. Tomorrow it's a dream which might never come. But today it's a reality. So make the most of it. Relationship is enjoyable. Take delight in it. Be excited about it. I mean, dream about it. See the person that you love. Even your children, they need your relationship. Your mother and your father need a relationship. Even those your colleagues at work. Relationship works everywhere. In the workplace, in the parliament, in the government, in every sectors, in all the marketplace. Listen, let me just close by saying, when you are in business, you make profit through people. You make in every labor there is profit. So customer care, it's a relationship. Marketing, it's a relationship. Advertising is a relationship. I mean, money goes into relationship. So make sure that you maintain good quality, valuable relationship in your life, and God bless you. Thank you.